Welcome to the Writers Weekly Podcast, a forum geared toward the writing enthusiast and those who want to make money from their writing. I'm Brian Whidden, managing editor of Writers Weekly, and I'll be your host along with Angela Hoy, the creator of Writers Weekly and president and CEO of BookLocker.com, a full-service book publishing company. Whether you want to learn how to become a professional writer, how to find writing gigs, or even publish your own book, then you come to the right place. We'll be discussing all kinds of topics relating to the writing and publishing industries. Don't forget, you can also click over to writersweekly.com. There, you'll find not only thousands of articles about professional writing, you can also find current paying markets and job listings to help you boost your writing career and even your bottom line. But for now, let's get on to this episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast. Hello again, and welcome to yet another episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Whidden, and with me is President and CEO of BookLocker.com and the owner of Writers Weekly, Angela Hoy.
Oh, we got an interesting one for you today.
Yep. But first, home office. Like many of you in the country, we got touched by that nasty little breath of cold air from Canada. Thank you very much.
I think breath is an understatement.
Yeah, it was nasty. Now, some of y'all got a lot worse than us. In fact, we were on like the most absolute southern tip of this. Gosh, what do they call it?
They even named
cold
this one.
Wave or a cold, I don't know. Anyway,
a big snowstorm.
Yeah. We didn't even get that much snow.
Well,
but we dang sure got frozen.
First, it was the forecast like 4 days before was we were going to get 3 to 5 inches. Then it was 5 to 8 inches. Then it was 7 to 14 inches over 3 days. Then it was just rain. And then the day before the storm, I'm obsessively checking the weather and
the day before the storm, it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained.
Yeah.
Then it dropped down to first night was in the 20s.
The weatherman called it a flash freeze.
Yeah. And it
dropped so fast, everything froze everywhere. And you had a little problem with your truck, didn't you?
I did. So just, part of my, I guess, winter routine when we get really super cold weather, when you live up on top of a mountain and you're like 20 to 30 minutes away from any emergency services, you need to make sure your vehicles are working. So I wake up in the morning when we get these really bad cold snaps, and I go start our engines and stuff. Now your Jeep has a nice little remote starting feature, so I just hold the little fob in my hand and click a button twice, and it cranks right up. You can do that from
inside, right?
You sure can, but not my truck. My truck, I still have to go out and actually get in and stick a key in and turn it, which I tried, and I should have known better because my doors are frozen shut. You can't open the door. For those of you living in Florida, where I grew up, and have never been to a seriously cold location, doors freeze shut on vehicles, and you can't open them without destroying your weather stripping on the inside.
Well, and a lot of people, they pull on the handle, and the handle
or
just
the handle will
off.
break off, or
right.
say, you will destroy your vehicle. Hey, probably break your glass or something if you're not careful. But
sure.
it just sticks. So you have to wait for things to start thawing out a little bit before you can get into your vehicle.
So we have blankets, all over the house, a couple in the living room, a couple in the bedroom, and Brian was thinking about folding them up and putting them up today until I reminded him that on Saturday and Sunday it's going to get down to 12. So we're just going to leave the blankets out for now.
And we didn't hardly get any snow. We just got that little dusting on the first morning. Now my sister up in Boston, I think she said she got 4 feet and had to shovel snow off a sidewalk. And
however, we did have several hours of ice.
We had several hours of ice.
Building up. Yeah. The deck was treacherous, and
as soon as the sun went down, everything would just turn into ice. The dogs don't stay out long.
Yeah. Don't even have to put on the electronic collars
Don't even
for this.
have to put on the buzzing collar to get them to come back
That's
in.
right.
No. But so we're still everybody stay safe out there. We're still staying safe, but we're in for some more real low temperatures here, and we'll all get through it.
Yeah.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Don't go driving down those roads if you don't have to when they're all iced up.
I'm just done with winter already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
Yeah. And so I'm ready for spring.
Yeah.
Ready for turkey hunting season to show up.
Yeah, I'm ready for some turkey.
Okay, so today's episode, when fake bad book reviews are actually character assassinations of authors. Everywhere now, the whole review thing all over the internet, being able to post reviews on things, was a great idea when it first came out that, everybody that used the service could review it. And it works well as long as everybody's honest.
Well, also, that all came out before people lost their manners and their morals.
Yeah.
And there are people attacking people online in companies with fake bad reviews.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about today. And we've got several examples from actual authors. I put out a call on social media and got lots of stories from people.
I was surprised at how many responses you actually got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting 3 or 4, but
problem.
man, yeah, it took me like 2 hours to go through all of them and pull some quotes out to share with everybody today.
Oh, why don't you get started?
Well, we didn't. This first happened to one of our Book Locker authors. This is several years ago. He wrote a book, and he got a 1-star review on Amazon. Had nothing to do with the book. It was his old neighbor that he'd had a tiff with over the years. And the entire book review was this guy criticizing the author, his wife, their kids, and everything. Literally nothing to do with the book whatsoever. The guy never read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And we contacted Amazon, and they would not remove the review. Now,
see, that's the other side of this that makes
Yeah.
it so nefarious, is that these platforms that do this won't, when you explain things, especially in a third party, the publisher comes in and says, hey, this is one of our clients, this is what happened. They still won't take it out.
And it literally, look at the review, Amazon.
Yeah.
You can tell this person it's a character assassination of the author. This person never read their book. So we recently republished a book for an author. He previously published his book 16 years ago. And on Barnes & Noble, under his old book page, there were 3 1-star reviews that were written by family members. I mean, they even admitted they were family members. And they were not book reviews. Again, character assassinations of the author. And they were brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. And so, anyway, he republished his book through us, and the book went up for sale, and Barnes & Noble automatically migrated those reviews to the new edition of the book. And we now have Clayton Jones is working with Barnes & Noble to get them to take those down.
Yeah.
Because he's a book publicist. And authors, if you've experienced this, you are not alone. Not even close. It's just, it's happening everywhere. And it's not just, my ex-girlfriend or my ex-husband or something, or my neighbor. It's some authors have taken it a step further, bad authors, where they're coming in and saying, oh, everybody likes that author. Her books compete with mine. I'm going to leave 1-star reviews. And, we'll get into the click farms in a minute. Yeah.
So, I mean, this isn't an uncommon phenomenon. Again, I was shocked at how common it apparently is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody listening who's got a book out there, have you ever received a book review online from somebody who clearly never read your book? Or have you received a book review from somebody and the review wasn't even about your book at all, but it was basically all about you?
Yeah.
If so, email Angie at Angela@writersweekly.com. That's Angela at writersweekly.com. Let her know about it.
Yeah.
We're still kind of toying around with this, see what we can do.
Well, we're hoping
topic.
that through this, for publicizing this horrible thing that's happening, that we can pressure Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other companies to, take the lead on this and not allow these fake reviews. Now, when I'm Christmas shopping and I see, let's say I want to buy Brian a chainsaw, okay? I will go in and look at the 1-star reviews first. Because, have you ever looked at a product and you realized it's a miniature version of the actual product, and you're so glad you read the 1-star review because it's not an actual product, So, but I will also look at the 5-star reviews. I don't even bother with the 2, 3, and 4 ones.
Yeah.
But they're usually, those types of products, they're usually about the product. But with book reviews, more and more, it's about the author.
Something that I learned back when I was in sales, something they taught us that stuck with me was that if somebody that's happy with your service is going to tell somebody, they're going to tell one person. Somebody that's upset with your service or product is going to tell 10 people.
Yeah.
And that's human nature. When we don't like something, it turns into sort of a mission that we let more and more people know about how upset we are about something than it is to run around and tell people how good something was.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that even today. If I get something done and somebody's like, hey, be sure to go on and give us a good review. I'm like, yeah. And then I just never do it because I'm busy, But yeah, do something that upsets me. But I don't go on and just trash them as, trash somebody as a person I don't just go on and make stuff up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a lot more negative out there than positive. And anymore, it's hard to even trust. And that's the big question. Can you trust 5-star or 1-star reviews anymore?
Well, we've actually talked about Trustpilot.com in the past. They don't appear to do anything to stop scammers from posting fake 5-star reviews about
themselves.
Yeah. And so we tell people on Trustpilot, only look at the 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
You can't trust the 5-star reviews at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about click farms?
Well, click farms is a phenomenon that popped up I think around the early 2000s, maybe after about 2010 or something, but it was discovered that in places like, where you would expect scammers, India, Pakistan, China, Russia, places like this, they literally had, and still have, businesses that exist with a bunch of employees whose only jobs are when you pay them, and you pay them per how much you want, they'll go on to your social media account or your product page or name it, whatever it is you want. And they have all these different employees on different computers, probably using VPNs to make it look like they're in different countries and stuff. They go on in there and either click on things, because a lot of like a YouTube video, let me try this. Your status in the algorithm increases the more clicks you get on that video.
And then it pops up for more people.
Advertisements pay out to I can't figure out exactly the way it works right this minute, but they'll pay out to based on how many people click on that advertisement.
Right.
So if you hire a bunch of people to come to something that you want to profit off of and have them click all over the place, it makes it look like you got, thousands or millions of followers out there, when really all it is a bunch of people you paid to come in and click on your stuff.
And they're not coming back. We see that with the publishing scammers, all the scammers on Facebook and other platforms. They literally, create a Facebook page 3 days ago and they've already got, 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
Those are click farms that are doing that. And those are the scammers themselves, because they're running those companies too. So.
And X recently, like within the last maybe month or two, put in a feature where people can go in and look at the people that are following you and find out where they're located. And a lot of podcasters and some political analysts and stuff like that have been caught with about half of their followers. And, let's say they have, 150,000 followers, and they'll find out about half of them are all from some other country.
Yeah. Right.
And so what are those people from India, Pakistan, China, all these places following you for if you're an American
Right.
Political commentator.
Yeah.
What do they care what you have to say? So,
well, and I think some of these celebrities, they have publicists that are hiring click farms.
Sure, absolutely.
To make themselves
to make them look good. Yeah, exactly.
On a related note, yesterday, okay, let me back up a little bit. Meta is the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and we and attorney James M. Walsh have been following all the news about Meta's in big trouble because they were not only making their content more attractive to children, feeding children things that weren't good for them. Some people have committed suicide after being scammed or sexploitation of teenagers. We've always known that you could, go to a scammer's page on Facebook, click about, and then click on page transparency. And in most cases, you can see that they have admins in other countries like Nigeria, the Philippines, and stuff. And even though they say, USAbestpublisher.com or something stupid like that, excuse me, and even if they have a U.S. address, it's fake. So we could easily, within 5 seconds, find out where they really were in most cases on Facebook. Well, yesterday, the page transparency link was gone. I clicked on several companies, including our company, gone. And so I immediately texted James. I said, "Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?" And he called us this morning. It's still there. It's just much harder to find. So under this episode on writersweekly.com/podcast, we will put the instructions on how to find where that company is. Sometimes it says U.S., but it's not U.S. But in most cases, the foreign scammers, it shows foreign countries is where they're at.
Now, folks, it just so happened, I think just a couple of weeks ago, we did a special episode specifically on how to detect scammers and how to use that little link on Facebook to find out where scammers' Facebook pages are.
We're going to have to update that.
Coincidence?
Oh, maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't. I choose not to toot my own horn here, but it's strange that for a long time they've had that link right there, and then we do that little episode, just little old Writers Weekly podcast, and then the link disappears.
We've been working with state and federal authorities to expose all the things that Meta is doing.
Yes, we have.
And we are copying Meta on those emails. They know we've been after them for a long time, and now they're being investigated by states attorney generals.
I'm shocked that my profile hasn't been taken down again. So, I mean, all it took was promoting my book the last time, and they yanked it down. Look at everything I'm poking at them now, and they're still up.
James Walsh is calling me right now. Wonder what's up. I'll call him back when we're finished. We talk to him every day. So everything, when you see somebody in, like even an author, and they look really, really popular because they've got, 400,000 followers on Facebook and stuff, really, got to put on your research hat or just, put the big question mark on your forehead and say, is this real?
Yeah. And that's what you got to do. When you're looking, unfortunately, you can't just look at the number of stars and move on from there and make a decision. You actually got to read what the review says. And under a book review, I think you can probably detect pretty quick if somebody actually bothered to read a book or if they're just, mouthing off at something. I actually will, unlike Angela, when I'm looking at something like on Amazon, I will go look at some of the 3 and 4 star reviews because you'll actually get some good insight from people saying, well, it's a pretty good product, but there was this one problem. Otherwise, it would be a good thing. But, and I like those because that tells me potential little glitches that I might experience with a product. Sometimes I can pick up that, dude, this is something I think that just happened with yours and it's not a product flaw. It's something that happened to your thing. Or sometimes people complain about, the condition that it showed up in. Well, that's not a product problem, that's a delivery problem, but
right.
Anyway, but you do have to actually look at these book reviews and sort of use some deductive reasoning to figure out whether or not somebody actually read the book. So
let's dive into some juicy stuff here. We're only using first names for obvious reasons. I'll go first.
Okay.
This was actually a common theme. His name is Jarrett, And he says, "This is why I write under a pen name. I don't need my crazy ex-girlfriend taking her smear campaign to my publisher."
That's a possibility.
Oh, the three for that author on Barnes & Noble that are, family members. Yeah, definitely a smear campaign. Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is one of the reasons I will never run for public office, because I know how many people are out there that would come out of the woodwork to say horrible things about me.
Well, all those people you arrested when you were a cop.
Well, there's that too, but
right.
I got some angry ex-girlfriends and just people that just didn't like me very much.
And ex-wives, too.
And ex-wives.
Yeah, right.
Okay, moving on. You want to do Jerry? Why don't you do about 3 of these, and I'll pick up.
Okay, Jerry, who is a friend of mine online, and I know her very well. I had a disgruntled employee who did the same thing to me. She got all of her friends to give me 1 star on Google and Yelp. Brought my business from a 5 to a 3.5 in one moment. That means the 5-star reviews to now it's all averaging at 3.5. Yeah. It's a shame people can destroy others for hate. And
that shows how far down the black hole we've gone as a society, that people who don't even know your business, just because some friend of theirs tells them some, cock and bull story about their experience with you. I don't know what this disgruntled employee's problem was, but that she could actually, that person could go to people that don't even know you, haven't done anything with your business, and convince them to go give bad reviews just to drive your business down. And this is how bad things have gotten morality wise, and well, I'm sure the whole world. I'm sure the U.S. isn't the only place this kind of thing's happening.
Well, I ran into a link the other day. I was Googling our website, Writers Weekly, and I was looking for something else. This link popped up. And it said, scam alert, mentioned our company. Well, first of all, Writers Weekly is completely free. You don't even have to subscribe. You can get on there and read the entire website for free and never come back if you don't want to. But it's all completely open for everybody. And this was from a scammer that we exposed.
Yes, it was.
About a year ago. And didn't give any specifics, but called us a scam because we were calling out scammers.
Yeah.
Now, how much sense does that make?
They made it out that we're just jumping on here and lying about people, scamming people to try to get attention to ourselves.
Yeah,
which is,
we always have proof.
If you ever listen to us, and if you were to ever contact us and ask us for our proof, we will happily show screenshots and our research and URLs and everything you would need to prove what we found. So, but this is what people do to get back at us, is they'll actually go on and post and say we're scammers, and then we just lie about stuff to try to, get attention.
And there was one comment from somebody underneath their post that said, "Where are the details?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were no details. There wasn't, see, they chose this business and called them a scammer, but they're not. No, it wasn't even that. It was just they get on there and tell everybody that these people are people are scammers, and it's not true, and they just tried it, and it's like there were no details.
General, right?
There was nothing at all.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Randall?
Well, hold on just a second.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
On Trustpilot for Writers Weekly, there's a 1-star review from somebody who also just doesn't talk about the job listings we have, the paying markets for writers, all the articles on writing and publishing, Ask the Expert. We have thousands and thousands of posts because Writers Weekly's been going on for 27 years now. We're in our 28th year, I think. And all they complained about was that we expose scammers. It's a scammer, doing it. Yeah. So this completely free service has a 1-star review. You know what? I don't care.
I'm trying to remember because you made the point that we're completely free. Did that one scammer mention something about people having to pay to use our service?
This is one that got taken down. Yelp took it down. It was a 1-star, not Yelp. Trustpilot took it down because they said that they paid Angela and Brian like $1,400 for a publicity package. Well, Angela and Brian don't do publicity packages.
Yeah. In fact, you come to Book Locker, we tell you right up, we're gonna produce your book, we're gonna publish your book, and then it's up to you. You need to market your book.
But we give you 90 plus days of promoting
coaching
your book
on how
online,
to do it. Yeah,
55 do's and don'ts of book selling, and we do offer like book trailers, things that we know work to promote a book. And if you do need a publicist, because a lot of authors, they don't want to market their books, they just want to write.
Yeah.
We refer them to Clayton Jones, who's a fantastic book marketer.
But BookLocker does not offer any marketing services at all for any amount of money, because we don't want to wade around in that stuff.
Well, I was able to prove to Trustpilot this person just pulled that out of their butt.
Yeah.
And again, it was a scammer trying to destroy our reputation and just made stuff up. So
okay, Randall.
Here's Randall. It has happened to me several times, usually from an old girlfriend. There we go again. Or a jealous writer. We already mentioned how that works. Seldom do they leave a review. They don't have to. 1 star can reduce a 5-star book to a 3-star book. It's an egregious failure on the part of Amazon to allow this practice to continue. What he's referring to is you can go to Amazon. You don't even have to buy the book.
Yeah.
You can just click 1 star and go on with your day.
Yep.
And that severely affects the potential sales for an author's book. Yeah.
Okay, Tamara says, yes, I got one from an ex-coworker who got fired, not by me, and then lashed out at everyone in the office in some way or another. So
yep. So we've got girlfriends, ex-girlfriends,
you weren't even
coworkers.
part of them getting fired, but they go after you because you were part of that office. Yeah.
Right, yeah. This is Sigrid. Thank you for your work, Angela, for your good work, Angela. We need more people like you on our behalf, working on our behalf. The stories you tell are so unfair, so very, very unfair. That's true. When I published my first book about hip replacement, I was living in Toronto and had to wait almost 2 years to have my joint replaced. Most Americans cannot relate to that. And what she's referring to is in Canada, they have socialized medicine, and it takes a lot longer to get treatment than it does in the United States.
Yeah, it's free, but you're going to wait forever.
Yeah. I remember I knew a woman who lived in Canada, and she found a lump and had to wait 6 months for a mammogram. Wow. Yeah, she could have been dead by then. Yeah. Anyway, we won't get political. I got depressed because I was in a huge amount of pain and I couldn't walk much at all, and I had to wait 18 months officially after 6 months of deliberation. They spent 6 months figuring out if they were going to give her a hip replacement or not.
Yeah.
On Amazon, 2 women started chatting about my book. Now, you can respond to reviews on Amazon. So people can go back and forth and have a conversation in the review section.
Sure.
Chatting about my book and my mental health, saying they thought I was a little crazy and they didn't want to buy the book for their husbands because of my mental health problems. I was naive at the time and I responded to them. I shouldn't have. We're going to talk about engagement in just a second. I should have realized that professional writers get all kinds of negative reviews and then just let them go. But this seems so very personable to me. It pissed me off, and I wanted to understand, but their bad reviews are still up there. I don't think that qualifies for what you're talking about, but it was very upsetting to me at the time. Very. So, actually, it does relate to what we're talking about. These women were not talking about her book specifically. They were talking about her being depressed. And I'm sure when she wrote a book about her experience, I'm sure she went into great detail about how this affected her mental health. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and engagement. Let's talk about engagement.
Okay.
When you engage a scammer, even if you know it's a scammer and you're just trying to, pull their chain, they're going to share your contact information with other scammers. So they're just going to keep coming after you. If you engage with people in this manner who are giving you fake 1-star reviews on Amazon, it could go one of 2 ways. One, it could devolve into a big, embarrassing public argument. Or 2, you can make yourself look really good in doing so. And one of these comments that we're going to read today talks about how to do that.
So someone named Nikki says, I'm not sure if my story qualifies, but just look at this photo. And we have a screenshot here.
Yeah.
This person or bot or whatever wrote the exact same review on all 3 of my books. When I contacted Amazon KDP, they said that they saw no need to remove the rating. So
wait, there's a little.
I'll catch that in a minute. So there's 3 books. They all are set at 1-star rating by the same person,
Bonnie.
Same name, Bonnie spelled Bonne.
Yeah.
Two of them on the exact same day, November 23rd, 2025, and then one 3 days later, November 26th, 2025, and the comment on all 3 of them, cut and paste. The English language is so exhaustive and descriptive. Using foul language cheapens the experience. And Nikki says that one of these books has absolutely no foul language in it whatsoever.
Yeah. And this is clearly somebody who's trolling this author.
And it's absolute. If you look at just the timeline, it's the same person saying the exact same thing on all three books. Obviously, this is not someone who's reading these books, and yet Amazon says they won't take it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kathy, not online, but from someone who emailed me saying she saw my book and wanted to post a review. I said that would be great and sent her the link. Within seconds, she sent me her review. Clearly, she didn't have time to read it. She said she could get me more favorable reviews for a fee. I said I'm only interested in actual reviews from people who read my book. Sad. Now, this was a scam.
That's a scam.
Yep. So if somebody reaches out to you and asks you for a free copy of your book and they're going to do a review, do not send them a free copy of your book.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you really want your manuscript electronic?
Well, exactly.
Given to a scammer. God knows what they're going to do.
They're going to pass it on to one of these places that scan your book and then post it for free on all these pirate sites. So.
Or they might publish it and it'll compete with your actual book. And oh, by the way, good luck getting Amazon to take that down too.
Yeah.
Right.
Looks like the Bard of the South wrote us.
He did.
Ricky Pittman, one of our authors.
Yeah, and good friend of mine over the years. He plays guitar.
Yep.
He sings.
We might talk to him on this show sometime.
Yeah. I think he's supposed to come on at some point.
Never underestimate how mean, jealous, petty, and cruel people can be.
That's true.
He lives up on a mountain too, I believe, in Texas. Yeah. He's like us. He tries to stay away from society.
He's definitely a country fellow, and he's such a sweetheart. And his books are amazing. And he's one of those prolific authors.
Yeah, he writes.
And he just keeps writing. And his books are fantastic. He also has worked with other authors on their books. So.
Hey, Robin says that years ago I got a 2-star review from someone who started with, "I really won't review books in this genre because I don't like them." And
then Robin's got an eye-rolling emoji.
And then they wrote this person's 2-star review.
So if just because you don't like books in this genre, you went in and gave this woman a 2-star review, and it mentions absolutely nothing about the book.
Yep.
So.
And I recognize this name. This is Patty. I think that's another one of our authors.
She is. Yep. I got this comment on my Fiction Angel book. Okay, listen. Fiction Angel book. Okay. It hurt me to the core and ruined my book sales on both books. Amazon wouldn't remove it, even when Angela republished, and Amazon wouldn't do anything. Some authors are republishing their books to get rid of those. When you do that, you have to change the title. You just have to. And then Amazon has a hard time, connecting the dots.
Locking it in,
But some authors are very, attached to their titles. Yeah,
sure.
Excuse me,
and how pathetic is it that you would have to take your book down, change its title, and then try to republish it
just because somebody was a jerk.
Some idiot attacked you, and there's no guarantee that they're not going to attack the next book.
Right. Right. So remember, Fiction Angel book. Mm-hmm. And first I'm going to tell you what this book is about.
If I recall, I think I did the book trailer on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is a delightful fantasy about archangels. Mm-hmm. Angie, not me, her main character. Angie passes, takes us through the afterlife, enjoys reunions with deceased loved ones, and meets 15 colorful archangels with specific specialties. She successfully leads a worldwide movement to help loving souls. Again, it's a novel. Mm-hmm. Here's the 1-star review. This book is full of disinformation. It's certainly not from God. You will answer for your self-serving actions and thoughts. Are harming people with your bias and believing that you know the mind of God. You know nothing. You are harming people with your self-serving beliefs and thoughts. Okay, now this person is repeating themselves. Mm-hmm. You know nothing about God and the state of the world. It is people like you that lead others astray. You will indeed reap what you are sowing. Jesus will say to you, "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. Repent and ask God to bring you out of darkness into the light. You have not been sent to save the world. Jesus has saved us from eternal damnation, not you." Now, she said in the description, it says the fictional character was trying to save the world.
Yeah.
And this nutcase goes in and trashes the author. This is all about the author, not about the book.
And I hate
completely unacceptable.
Whoever it is wrote that review from a Christian to someone who clearly thinks they're a far superior Christian to all other Christians. Mm-hmm. Jesus also said, "You are not to judge."
Yeah.
but that is for God to judge. And you sure seem like you're doing a lot of judging.
Ooh, she is.
And then there's that whole thing about driving people away from God. And I can't imagine too many more words that would drive somebody away. Say, if that's what being a Christian's about, I want nothing to do with it.
Yep.
So you might want to be thinking what's going to happen to you when you got to stand in front of God. Okay, Jennifer, I recently got my first 1-star review on my dark romance fantasy book. When I looked at the reviewer's profile, I noticed they'd given almost every book 1 star like it's a thing to do.
Yeah.
I think there's likely some very pathetic people out there who just find this sense of power in being able to bring other people's success down.
Sure.
Just because they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, it seems the world has lost its moral compass.
Yeah.
And just nasty, nasty people.
Mm-hmm.
One author mentioned auto review bombs, where angry people or even authors in a competing genre, will purchase 1-star reviews to be posted en masse. There was another person I was going back and forth with who mentioned the same thing. Mm-hmm. And there are apparently publicists for big authors, big name authors, who will go in and, now I can't prove this, but he said he can. I think he's had some traditional publishing going on. And they'll go in and review bomb authors whose books are in the competing genre.
Well, it makes sense. The click farms can work both ways.
Sure.
You can hire them to do a bunch of good stuff for you, or you can hire them to go somewhere else and do a bunch of bad stuff to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Amy says, I don't see how one review can tank sales. Yes, it can.
Yeah.
The answer to this is to get a lot more reviews. I have someone who did not read my book but put a bad review. I know, and Amazon agrees that there's no possible way they could have read the book on Kindle Unlimited because it was not listed on Kindle Unlimited at the time. The review says, quote, I read it free on Kindle Unlimited and I still want my money back, end quote. But it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited and Amazon still won't remove the bad review. However, the answer is to just get more 5-star reviews in exchange. That's actually not the answer. Because a lot of people, like me, when I'm buying a chainsaw, they look at the 1-star reviews first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you get those 5-star reviews? All you can do is you market your book, try to get as many people to buy it, and then, but it's even tougher to get people to come back and give those reviews.
Right. Exactly.
But believe it or not, I think the vast majority of Americans and human beings just have better things to do than to sit online, telling everybody how wonderful they thought something was. They buy something, they enjoy it, and they go on with their lives. They don't rant and rave about it.
And then there's these nasty people that just go
and
in
then there's
and just
other
trash
people who have nothing better to do than to use the, so I mean, and I'm not, that's not trashing anybody that's giving 5-star reviews. If you happen to be online and let me say something nice about that, it's fine and good, but it's just, that's human nature. Most people don't do that. You buy something, it works exactly the way you want it to, or you read something and it was a good book. Hey, that was a good book. Then you move on. You go do whatever you do. You don't, I have to stop and get online and go do a 1-star review. There are some that are like that. Okay, fine. But it's just, I don't think that's the average human being.
But again, this problem with fake 1-star reviews, the onus is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know about it. They know what's happening. They are specifically looking at these reviews and discussing it with these authors and still refusing to remove them, even though they have nothing to do with the books whatsoever. And as I've talked about several times, we sued Amazon back in 2008 and we won. And it was a 2-year process. And we had a front row seat to seeing how nasty that company is.
Oh, yeah.
And I can tell you, if you're an author, even though Amazon got its start with books, if you're an author, you are one grain of sand in the Sahara Desert to them. They don't care about you or your book at all.
No. Remember, and Amazon, yes, is still the largest bookseller in the entire world, but they really don't care about that part of their business anymore. They're more now about the retail stuff, and they don't even care so much about that. Now it's the AI stuff. Yeah. It's the data storage stuff. That's where their big money is. So they care far more about, getting the government to store all of our information that they've collected on Amazon servers than they care about making sure that you as an author are taken care of in KDP.
Yeah, Amazon Web Services.
Exactly.
You don't read about that on Amazon.com when you're shopping for a new pair of tennis shoes. that's where the money's coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the big bucks are. And they again, grain of sand.
And again, remember Facebook, who, in their own right is just as big as Amazon. When they realized they had a whole bunch of scammers on their platform scamming people, they decided not to do anything to those scammers and remove them because they were making plans to use the money that they were going to get from those scammers doing scam ads to put towards their AI programs, which are very expensive.
Yeah.
So for the sake of Mark Zuckerberg making more money because, he needs it,
right?
You get scammed and Facebook doesn't care because they made good money off of that scammer paying them for the ad that you got scammed on so that they can turn around and funnel that money towards their AI program and make even more money.
And Reuters got a hold of internal documents from Meta, and Meta is knowingly feeding billions of scam ads to their users every single day.
Yeah, I didn't pull these details out of my butt. This was a Reuters report that came out, and you can go back. We did an episode on that.
Yeah.
And you can listen to the quotes and the sources that we have that say that they did that. Amazon.
We'll put a link to that episode under this episode.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And Amazon's basically doing the same thing. Is they see this kind of stuff going on, but they're too busy trying to move into the future, go into the big bucks with their data storage and their AI stuff, and they don't care if your little piddly book doesn't sell because somebody gave you a bunch of bad reviews.
Yeah, or even one bad review.
Fake reviews. Where are we at? Sarah?
Sarah.
Okay.
Fake reviews are such a huge problem, either from people review bombing books out of some vendetta against the author or giving glowing 5-star reviews to books that haven't released because the reviewer knows it'll be good. I've seen that. I've seen those types of reviews. They give the book is on pre-order. Nobody's read it yet. I can't wait till this book comes out. I know it's going to be great. 5 stars. Yeah. Now, the fact that Amazon's allowing reviews for books
that's crazy.
before it's even on the market is just insane.
That's
and
not
Amazon can do probably one tech at Amazon can probably spend 5 minutes fixing that problem.
Sure.
But, they don't care. And Sarah says it's so hard to trust any reviews anymore. Amen.
It is. See, Elizabeth, I have 2. Both are from the same customer who so hated my book that she read the second book too. Go figure. That's a good way of putting it.
I
know. Amazon wouldn't remove either of them. First one is such a poorly written, the first one is, quote, such a poorly written amateurish endeavor. This is obviously a self-published author, and the reviews have been written by friends and relatives. I couldn't even finish the book. Leave it to the professionals, honey, or don't quit your day job, even if you have one, unquote. Man. Then she went on to read my second book, even though she couldn't even finish the first, and left this review. Yet another poorly written, unprofessional, self-published piece of garbage. How many more can we expect from this author? This kind of writing should be illegal. Now, note, in everything that I just read, there's not one single detail about what makes this a bad book.
Exactly.
Not one thing about, characters were poorly put together, or, this part of the book and that part of the book didn't jibe, or whatever. Nothing. Just, boy, what a piece of crap book. And 1 star.
I wonder if some of these are being done by AI. How the scammers can use AI to create a fake positive email for you because they want you to buy their service. And we've talked about this before. I told one of the AI programs, I can't remember which one, send me, Angela Hoy, a complimentary email about her book, The Emergency Divorce Handbook for Women. And within a nanosecond, I had a 3 or 4 paragraph email praising my book up and down. It makes sense that if I told it, send Angela Hoy an email, criticizing her book
is.
I'm going to do that when we finish this episode. I'm going to get online and see what comes out with that. So, Anyway, go ahead.
Not too long after these reviews, this person Wait a minute. Okay, not too long after these reviews, she wrote a book of her own. I assume the
one-star
person
reviewer,
that was reviewing.
Yeah.
And of course, I had to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. I think she also self-published or used a vanity press, but there were so many mistakes in it. One of the worst one sentence, which she said, the folks had fried children to enjoy at the potluck. The folks had fried children to enjoy at the potluck. I nearly fell out of the bed laughing. I did not retaliate with an awful review because I know how painful hers were to me and review numbers, but being my first 2 books, these almost made me quit writing. Is also when self-publishing was just taking off. Thankfully, I kept going, and I'm now writing my 10th book and have a large following. See, but if she had gone on and done a review and put that quote in there, that would be fair.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not just making stuff up and being having generalities. You actually can say, hey, in this book, here's one sentence from this book.
Yeah. However, she took the high road.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I know. Would have been more interesting if she'd. I actually went back and forth with her a couple times. It was an author in the same genre.
Really?
So yeah.
So there's just
just trash and
sour
fellow
grapes.
authors.
Yeah.
You know, we authors have enough going on in our lives. Can't we all just support each other?
Yeah, no
instead
kidding.
of being nasty. Yeah.
Apparently not.
I guess not. Matt says, I had a book get a 1-star review in pre-order with 0 purchases. No idea how that happened, but Amazon refused to remove it. So yeah, it's happening. Yeah.
Now I have not had to respond to any kind of review for a long time on it. I can't remember. What was I going to say? It shows what you respond.
Yeah.
On there, and they leave that up there.
Right.
So for somebody like this, I would certainly suggest get on there and write a response to that, saying, I don't understand how you were able to review my book at this particular time because nobody had purchased the book and it wasn't even on for sale.
Yeah, it was on pre-order.
It was on pre-order.
Yeah, nobody had a
copy. And then that
yet.
way, anybody who's reading that 1-star review can see your response.
Right.
And you can even see when a book actually came online on Amazon, so they could see that is true.
And again, the pattern, Amazon doesn't remove these. They will actually, it would be faster for Amazon when they're
to just remove
corresponding with the author
than re-correspond with
remove
you.
it versus arguing back and forth with the author. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And they get pretty wordy to tell you we're just not going to remove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny says, that's sad. I had the opposite, which was harmless but embarrassing. A friendly manager at work reviewed my book 5 stars with the only thing he wrote being, I dare you to do more. He hadn't even read my book. Oddly, that review appears to have been trimmed or removed.
Okay, so Amazon removed a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Or edited it, but they're not getting rid of these fake 1-star reviews. Poor Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why does Amazon not allow some reviews?
If, for example, it's Christmas time and I've got my Amazon account. Of course, I can log in and see my book sales and everything. And my personal purchasing account, same email address as my Amazon account if it's the publishing account, or if anyway, so Amazon knows that I've shipped something to your sister.
Okay.
If your sister comes and leaves a 5-star review for my book, Amazon's going to remove it because they know she's a friend or a relative. Okay. That happens all the time. So again, they're removing the 5-star reviews.
Because they suspect that a good review is a dishonest review. Yeah. Okay.
So Amazon knows when we're connected to certain people. Mm-hmm. So one of our authors recently complained that Amazon removed 58 5-star reviews from his book page. I checked and he had not yet sold 58 copies of the book. Okay. Mm-hmm. I see how Amazon, would figure that out.
Sure.
But if somebody I've never shipped anything to through Amazon, let's say my neighbor, comes in and leaves a 5-star review, or a friend of mine who lives in another country, somehow Amazon knows that we're related in some way, friend or family, and they will go in and remove those reviews. And I've never been able to figure out how they know that. However, Amazon Web Services, they have more information on all of us than our doctors do. Okay, way more.
Amazon Web Services has contracted with the federal government and if I am correct, I recall seeing articles talking about they're storing the information that NSA collects on Americans.
Yeah.
National Security Agency. So they're the ones that are I don't want to say recording phone. They're recording the metadata of all of our phone calls. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that track where, cell towers and where everybody's going. They
know where we've been on the internet.
They know where you've been on the internet. They track your search history.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's not somebody sitting there watching you look up stuff on Google. It's just as it passes through the internet, they have little traps in place that just suck up all this data and store it for in case they need it someday.
Right.
So everywhere you've been on the internet, whenever you have your cell phone in your pocket and you're driving around town, the government has all that.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, this isn't paranoia. There isn't somebody watching you do, but they have the ability to just suck up all this data and they store it.
Yeah. And if you do commit a crime, they're going to know everything about you.
Find out. Yeah.
And a lot of this information is on Amazon servers.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they're using
that, Amazon owns those servers. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're using that information to determine that you've got a friend who you've never shipped anything to, and 5 states away, and they remove those 5-star reviews, why can't they just easily remove fake? There's probably an algorithm they can write where this review doesn't mention anything about the book at all.
Yeah,
Delete.
You would think.
But, again, they don't care. Grain of sand. They just don't care. Vance says, everyone receives a bad review sooner or later. That's true. Often it's undeserved. The book is just not right for the person reading it. The only antidote is good reviews. If 1 out of 2 reviews is bad, it can really hurt you. If 1 out of 20 reviews is bad, not so much. And that comment reminded me, I worked for this guy named Gerald, and this is back in my early 20s. And he told me something I'll never forget. 1 oh shit will wipe out 100 attaboys.
Yeah, we used to say that in the military all the time. Yeah.
So if you have 1 1-star review and 55-star reviews,
that hurts.
It's going to hurt your sales. Yeah.
Let's see. Gary tells us, I had a lady post a 2-star rating on my book. I wanted to know why she didn't like the book, so I looked for a written review. She didn't leave one, just a 2-star rating and nothing else. Another author left a review. I recognized the cover of her book and remembered a brief exchange I had with her on a post, but I didn't remember anything else. I have no idea what I did to make her mad at me. It is possible she didn't like the book, but she is to this day the only rating I have below 4 stars.
Now this is, okay, so you're having a little, debate with somebody on Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and of course you've been promoting your book on your own posts, not part of the debate, and these people who don't agree with you will find your book on Amazon and leave, a 1-star review. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to...
This is, Gary is responding to the previous one, because this conversation was on Facebook in a large authors group. I'm sorry, Geraldine.
I see. Geraldine responds to Gary.
Yeah, it was quite a lively conversation. You're describing exactly what I experienced. Since there was no review but only the star reading and hence no name, I have no idea who left it. My suspicions lie with somebody who almost had me hooked before I realized it was a scammer.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're talking to somebody about your book online and you're not falling for the scammer's, sales pitch, or worse, the scammer's starting to get mad at you. Remember, I've had 2 fake romance scammers use the F word on me when they found out they were getting reverse scammed. Mm-hmm. They won't hesitate if you're promoting your book to go online, and they might do the click farm thing. They just tell their buddies, in the next bunk, to start trashing this person. So sure, yeah.
Okay, pause here. Talk about how scammers can buy your book and battery. And we're at like 54 minutes here.
Yeah, we need to.
One woman contacted me saying an author writes the same genre post negative.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Go past that big one. Wait.
A replay from Angela?
Whoops. Hold on just a second. Okay, I won't read this one because it's quite long, but Fred would get online and post political things, like half of the country does. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And then he was getting 1-star reviews on his books from people that had never read the book but didn't agree with his politics.
Yeah.
And I wrote a very controversial book under a pseudonym, and all 1-star reviews. People did not read the book. They were all politically motivated. People just didn't like the topic of the book. So that's also, if you're writing a book about politics, you can expect to get 1-star reviews from people that just don't agree with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is a good one. Simon received a 1-star Amazon review after his book arrived late in the post.
Mail.
Had nothing to do with the book whatsoever. It was either Amazon shipped it too slowly or the post office did something wrong. Yeah. And somebody actually gave the author a 1-star review for that. Now, how childish can you be?
That's like said earlier, is I look at the middle range reviews on Amazon products, and sometimes you'll see somebody like, well, I would have given it 5 stars, but it got here 2 days late. I'm like, that's right. Not the product. The product didn't make itself late. That was actually Amazon. And I know it. Of course, Amazon doesn't give us a place to review them.
Go to this person's name is I'm Probably Right.
Gotcha.
I like that's a great username. I have someone who since April has taken time out of their life to stalk my Amazon and wait until midnight on release day of any book and drop a 1-star. I really only check my reviews on release day to see if they've gotten bored yet. That's a good attitude. This is probably someone that this author's had a problem with in the past, or maybe even a family member they don't get along with, because otherwise how would they know the day that book is getting released?
Or somebody that's following on social media. Yeah.
Go down to Kinsey there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why don't you do Kinsey?
Kinsey, there you go. Kinsey tells us, not for my book specifically, but on my private session practice website, as well as my Google Business Review, I had somebody that never worked with me or even actually spoken to me attempt review extortion, giving me outrageously and completely irrelevant negative reviews with low numbers, then bombarding me with emails saying she would change her reviews after our session. I have heard of that before. People who will slam a bar or a restaurant or something with a whole bunch of negative reviews and then say, now, if you'll pay us $10,000, we'll remove all those reviews off it. Yeah.
And here's the thing is, if you pay them money, they're not going to remove the reviews. Yeah, we've talked about similar scams in the past.
Let's see. Peggy says, my daughter and I wrote and illustrated a children's Learn to Read counting picture book for her sister's youngest child and others in memory of his deceased mother, honoring her involvement in animal rescue. Wow.
Yeah.
We would offer it for free on Kindle for her birthday. Lo and behold, a 1-star rating with no review popped up, tanking the overall rating. Tell me what kind of person would bomb a memorial memory picture book honoring a child's deceased mother. Well, some sorry bastard that has nothing better to do with their life.
Yeah. We also got some advice from authors, and this is Irma. I don't care about it. If I want to buy a book, I read the blurb or description. I don't need someone to tell me if I like it or not. In the bookstore, I just open the first page, and I can tell if I'm interested or not. So people just write and publish. And that's good advice for veteran authors who are used to the 1-star reviews and all the shenanigans going on the internet. But for new authors, extremely, extremely painful to get that first 1-star review. Okay. You want to, J.A.?
Bonnie says, I had a lady set an alarm for the day my book came out so she could leave a bad review. We had never interacted, just like She just didn't like my thoughts on a topic. I have screenshots of her saying she would never read my book. Goodreads did nothing, didn't even ask for my evidence.
Goodreads is owned by Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Let's see, J.A. Here's a lie someone posted who didn't agree with a Facebook post of mine. She never read my book. Amazon refuses to remove it. Quote, I'm actually shocked by the good reviews. If this book was meant to be scary, the only frightening part was realizing I wasted my money and hours of my life reading it. End quote. Yeah. That's a creative one.
That's a creative one. You
right.
gotta admit,
but it's still
again,
painful for the author.
It just it doesn't give any details whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And the last one here from Angela, not you.
This is another good friend of mine online. Yeah.
Can't they just remove the book from Amazon and then put it back up? Would that erase any of the horrid fake reviews? Angie, tell us about that.
We mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this earlier. If you're going to do that, you have to change the title. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, Amazon is going to migrate those old reviews to the new books page. Oh, you also need to assign a new ISBN.
ISBN, too.
Yep.
They can track it that way.
Yeah. So it's troubling. There are so many people with so much time on their hands these days to trash authors, basically character assassination. And it's really important for all of us to support each other as authors and, read each other's books. When you do read a book, if you like it, go in and post a 5-star review. Mm-hmm. And that way, if we're all doing that for each other, I read books all the time. And I go in and I post reviews all the time. Mm-hmm. And that way, we're all helping each other battle the trolls out there that are trying to make our lives miserable. Yeah. And also, complain to Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Don't stop hammering them for not. Yeah. And if you are getting these kind of reviews and stuff, hopefully this episode will just open your eyes to it's happening to everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just you. Don't give up. Don't quit writing. Don't let this, just keep going. Do what you got to do.
Also, if you do engage, I think we may have skipped that one because I referred to it earlier. If you do engage with a fake reviewer on Amazon, stay extremely professional.
Yeah.
Don't get emotional. State the facts. Don't give them anything to argue with you about or anything that's going to ruffle your feathers.
In fact, sometimes just asking a question is more effective than arguing with somebody. If they just blather on about how bad your book is with no details, then just get on there and just say, well, would you like to explain specifically what it is about my book you didn't like?
Yeah, right.
What chapter, what part? Give us some details so that I can look into that section.
Right.
And you're probably not going to get anything back from them.
Right. Also, if you do see one of these fake 1-star reviews on a book page on Amazon, respond to that person. And say, I haven't read the book either, or I have, but it's clear to me that this is a troll. And this person never read that book because there's nothing specific about the book at all. Because people that see that 1-star review are going to see your response. Yeah. And that does more to negate the 1-star reviews than you can get all kinds of 5-star reviews. But if these 1-star reviews have these professional, factual response to them, readers that see those are going to discount that 1-star review.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going just a little bit over an hour here, and I got church tonight, so we're going to wrap this up. Yeah,
I'm working on a big editing job.
Yay.
I got 80 pages left on that one. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we thank you for listening. If you got a book you want to publish, come on over to booklocker.com. We'll be happy to help you out. And we will look forward to y'all listening to us again next week on the Writers Weekly podcast.
Stay warm.
Yep. See y'all later. Bye.